Nation, bringing you updates around the world from our studio in the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Deborah, Ezeh. On the Nigerian scene today, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged the Nigerian military to confront terrorists and wipe them off the face of the earth. He said this in Kaduna State yesterday at the graduation ceremony of 247 students of the Senior Course 44 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. The president noted that the last 12 years in the history of the country have been the worst or the most challenging, particularly in the area of security. He described ongoing collaboration of the armed forces in Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger Republic, Benin Republic, and Chad to combat Boko Haram in the Lake Chad region as productive, commendable, and successful. According to a statement issued by Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the president said the synergy achieved in operating together must have been enhanced by an understanding of the doctrine of the cooperating forces. He added, our government is poised to promote national security and development, as well as to remain committed to promoting a vision of secure, safe, just, peaceful, prosperous, and strong Nigeria. And now moving on, following a suit by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and 176 concerned Nigerians, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Court, has declared unlawful the suspension of Twitter by the government of President Muhammadu Buhari and ordered his administration never to repeat it again. Last year, following the deletion of Buhari's tweets, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, had announced the suspension of Twitter in Nigeria. The federal government also threatened to arrest and persecute anyone using Twitter in the country, while the National Broadcasting Commission asked all broadcast stations to suspend the patronage of Twitter. But in the judgment delivered yesterday, as disclosed by SERAP's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, the court held the act of suspending the operation of Twitter was unlawful and inconsistent with the provision of Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights and Article 19 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, both of which Nigeria is a state party. The court also ordered the Buhari's administration to take necessary steps to align its policies and other measures to give effect to the rights and freedoms and to guarantee a non-repetition of the unlawful ban of Twitter, and also ordered Buhari administration to hear the cause of proceedings and directed the Deputy Chief Registrar to assess the cost accordingly. And now away from Nigeria, Libya's government replaced the head of the key national oil corporation on Thursday in a dramatic move that prompted the United States to warn against any armed confrontation over the sector. The North African country's vast oil reserves have often been at the heart of political disputes, but the NOC had largely stayed neutral despite years of division since the 2011 toppling of dictator Muammar Gaddafi in a NATO-backed rebellion. However, in a decree made public, the unity government of Abdulhamid Deiba appointed former central banker Fahad Bengdara to replace NOC head and veteran technocrat Mustafa Sinala. On Thursday morning, Bengdara took up office at NOC headquarters in Tripoli, where he gave a news conference. Now, still on the African scene, a reprieve from an expected fuel price increase for Kenyans, as Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta on Thursday rolled out a fresh round of fuel subsidies in a bid to prevent a rise in prices at the pump. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority was expected to further raise fuel prices to a new record high after the Treasury announced that it has gradually withdrawn the fuel subsidy to ease pressure on government coffers. But now a litre of petrol will remain at the current price despite the recent rise in the cost of oil. The move eliminates fears of another hike as Kenyans grapple with the rising cost of other essential goods. It is also a sharp turn from the words of Treasury Cabinet Secretary Uku Yatani, who had said in June that the continuation of the subsidy kitty could imperil Kenya's plan to cut debt accumulation, prompting the push to remove it gradually within the current financial year. We now go on a short break, and when we come back, it's updates making the rounds on the foreign scene. Stay with me. How to submit your KYC details on the AFRICUNIA Bank. Go to your AFRICUNIA Bank app dashboard and select the profile option, which shows your personal details including your registered name and email address. To submit your KYC, click the Identification Verification and Address Verification option to upload your identity type, identity number, identity proof, and your address proof, respectively. Then you're ready to begin banking. AFRICUNIA Bank, indigenous for all. And now welcome back on the foreign scene today with the latest updates recording 9,200 cases of monkeypox in 63 countries. The World Health Organization said it would reconvene its experts committee on July 21st to decide whether the outbreak constitutes a global health emergency. The WHO Regional Director for Africa insisted the continent faced an acute risk, and for Africa the threat is severe. Dr. Matshidiso Moeti said new WHO analysis have revealed 63% increase in the number of zoonotic outbreak in the African region in the 10 years to 2022 compared to the previous decade. 1 in every 3 confirmed public health events in the region in the past decade was a zoonotic disease outbreak, and according to available statistics, almost all patients affected thus far are male with a median age of 37, with 3/5 identifying as men who have sex with men. The committee will look at trends, how effective the countermeasures are, and make recommendations for what countries and communities should do to tackle the outbreak. It said the WHO was working closely with civil society and the LGBTQ community, especially to tackle the stigma around the virus and spread information to help people stay safe. The normal initial symptoms of monkeypox include a high fever, swollen lymph nodes, and a blistering chickenpox-like rash, but the report said that in this outbreak, many cases were not presenting with a classically described clinical picture. Now moving on, President Joe Biden will discuss energy supply, human rights, and security cooperation in Saudi Arabia on a trip designed to reset the U.S. relationship with a country he once pledged to make a pariah on the world stage. Biden will hold meetings with Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, known as MBS, along with other government officials. The visit will be closely watched for body language and rhetoric, and the U.S. intelligence concluded that the MBS directly approved the 2018 murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, while the Crown Prince denies having a role in the killing. White House advisors have declined to say whether Biden will shake hands with the prince or not, and the kingdom's de facto ruler. Biden will meet with a broader set of Arab leaders at a summit in the Red Sea port city of Jeddah on Saturday, and Biden will be the first American president to fly from Israel directly to Jeddah, a move the White House says presents a small symbol of warming ties between Israel and Saudi Arabia, which gave a tacit nod for the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain to forge ties with Israel 2 years ago. And still on the foreign scene, the European Union Commission will sue Hungary over its anti-LGBT laws, news website Politico said on Friday. The law passed in June sparked anxiety in the LGBTQ+ community as it bans the use of materials seen as promoting homosexuality and gender change in schools, ostensibly as a measure to prevent child abuse. The ruling Fidesz Christian Democrats government has said LGBTQ rights and other such social issues are matters for national government to decide. It says the law aims to protect children, not target the LGBTQ+ community. We now head to the sports scene. Nigeria Super Falcons are through to the semi-finals of the ongoing Women African Cup of Nations in Morocco after a 1-0 win over Cameroon in a quarter-final fixture played in Casablanca yesterday. All 4 teams that makes the semi-final of the ongoing WAFCON would pick automatic tickets for the FIFA Women's World Cup, with the team adjudged to have finished 5th after a player between the losing quarter-finalists presented with another chance for a shot at a playoff tournament next year. Up next for the Super Falcons is a semi-final clash against tournament host Morocco on July 18th in Rabat. Morocco defeated Botswana 2-1 on Wednesday to advance to the WAFCON last fall for the first time ever. And finally, French international winger Ousmane Dembele, whose contract with Barcelona expired last month, ended 6 months of speculation about his future by agreeing to rejoin the Catalan side until 2024. FC Barcelona and the player Ousmane Dembele have reached an agreement for a contract until 30th June 2024, said a statement on the club website. The announcement brings an end to a 6-month soap opera about where the 25-year-old will be playing his football next season. The Catalans were keen to keep a player who seemed revitalized following the appointment of Xavi Hernandez as coach at the camp NOU, but talks appear to break down. Barca, meanwhile, were able to move closer to its wage demand thanks to the 207.5 million euros sale of 10% of its audio-visual rights to the American company Sixth Street. The club is moreover about to sell another 15% for 330 million euros. And that concludes the news update on AFRICUNIA television today. Do follow all our social media platforms displaying on your screen to stay connected and updated to our news and other programs. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on www.youtube.com/AFRICUNIA TV. You can also link us up on www.africunia.tv. Once again, I am Deborah Ezeh. Have a beautiful weekend.